Hello everyone, this side Amir Sohail, and today's video I'm going to discuss about converting classic policies to advanced policy, as well as I will be demonstrating you converting those classic policies to advanced policy. So let's start. So why do we need to convert the classic policies? This is the first question it comes in our mind when we are planning to converting the classic policies to advanced policy. Why do we need that? So the classic policies are deprecated starting from Netscaler version 12.0 build 56.20. However, the policies and expression continue to work the same way they used to work till Netscaler version 13.0. But from Netscaler version 13.1 release onward, certain policies based features and functionalities has been removed. So there is a tool which is NEPEPI. This tool is by the Citrix and it helps to converting classic policies to advanced policy. However, this conversion tool does not convert few features policy like authentication policies, session policies, traffic policies. So if you have these policies with you, you have to convert them manually. Now, how do we differentiate between classic policies and advanced policies? So I have given some examples here, which I will try to explain you to identify the classic policies and advanced policies. So this expression is start with request req.http.header user agent contains Citrix receiver. So this is a classic policy. Any expression which start with req is the classic policies. Likewise, request IP destination equal IP address. This is also the classic policies because this expression start with request req. Then second trip is to identify it. If any expression having equal, if you can see that two equals are showing here. So that would be the classic policy. However, advanced policy expressions would have EQ. For example, request IP destination equal and IP address. So that's a classic policy. And in the second example, client IP.destination.equal and IP address. This is the advanced policy because it's having EQ, and the first expression having equal, that's the classic policies. Then third trick you can use to differentiate. Advanced policy use the brackets. However, the classic policy doesn't use brackets. For example, request HTTP header user agent not contains Citrix receiver. This expression doesn't have any bracket. Means this is a classic policy. Second example, HTTP request header user agent contains Citrix receiver not. So this expression having two brackets. Even another expression may have one bracket. So that would be also the advanced policy. So there are few tricks. Based on that, you can identify the classic policies and advanced policy. And if it is needed to convert the classic policies to advanced manually, you can select them and convert them. I have taken a screenshot where I can show you the classic policy and advanced policy. If you can see the first policy where the expression is there, request HTTP header user agent contains Citrix receiver. So this expression is start from request. So this expression, this policy is the classic policy. While second policy start with HTTP and having the bracket as well. So this is the advanced policy. Likewise, you can identify the other classic policies and convert. So let's move it to the Netscaler where I will be showing you to converting classic policies to the advanced policy. And there are two methods to convert it. One is manual method, means this NSPPI tool can be used against the individual classic policy that helps to convert it to the advanced and then bind it to the Netscaler. Or the same tool can be used to convert the whole NSConfig file for you. Not to worry, this NSConfig file which is get generated is not the actual file. The second file is generated with the converted policies for you to review it. You can review it, and once you are okay to proceed, you can roll out it to the production. But before doing and running this script, it's recommended to take the offline backup. In case if something goes wrong, you can revert your configuration to the old point. Along with the new Netscaler configuration file which is get generated, along with that, the another files get generated, which is a warning file under the nsconfig. It will give you more inputs, and based on that you can take further action. So let's move to the Netscaler. But before running that command, please make sure you are doing this task on secondary node. Make the secondary node as stay secondary and primary node stay primary, and disable the synchronization and propagation on both Netscaler. Now move to the CLI and run that command. ns ppi -f and give the path of your nsconfig. Now it will be taking time based on the size of the nsconfig file. New file is generated and the file name is new_ns.conf. Also, conversion is successful and no error or warning is generated. It means the warning file is not generated in my case. In your case, the warning file may be generated. Go and check and do the needful. Now let's move it to the WinSCP and refresh it, and you can see the new file generated. I'm going to change the name of the nsconfig. You can define any name. I'm going to roll out into the production. Okay, that is done. Go to the Netscaler and reboot this Netscaler secondary one. Please make sure that you have unchecked this option, otherwise the new file which is having advanced policy is not gonna take effect. Now rebooting will be taking a minute. Meanwhile, I'm going to pause this video. Now Netscaler got rebooted. I'm going to log in now. And this Netscaler is running with the advanced policy now. But I also highlight one thing here, that it is showing this, the STA status showing is down. That's okay. When you fail over and make this Netscaler to primary, it will come up by itself. But I want to show you one thing, that after conversion of the advanced policies, you would see this is the session policy which is not get converted by itself, as I showed you while I was explaining you. This classic policy is not got changed to the advanced because this is a session policy which I already explained you. There are some features it's not supported by this tool. So in this case, you have to convert the classic policies to advanced and bind it here. Now we are ready to fail over and make this Netscaler into the productions. What you have to do, just remove it from the stay secondary, and on the primary, just make it take the participation in the HA and then do the failover. So we will see now the STA status shows up. We have converted the whole nsconfig file. Now I'm going to show you converting a specific classic policy to the advanced policy. I have this classic policy expression. This classic policy expression, I will be converting it to the advanced. Now I have logged into the Netscaler and will be using the same tool, NSPEPI. In this case, the -e syntax will be used, and just copy the classic expression and hit enter. So this classic expression get converted to the advanced expression. This advanced expression can be used to create the advanced policy. So I'm going to use this advanced expression and create a new advanced policy. I have copied the same expression here. Add VPN session policy. I'm going to create a new session policy, and this is a session policy name, session poll underscore advanced. I have defined the expression, and this is the session profile. You can use the existing session profile with the advanced policy. I'm going to copy it, exit from this, and copy that. Once you hit enter, the new advanced policies has been created with the existing session profile. Just refresh it, and this policies has been created. Now, please remember one thing. When you are going to bind this policy, make sure you don't have any classic policy already bound to gateway or group, else you will be getting an error. So I have this gateway, and there is one classic policy already bound. If you try binding the advanced policy which you just created, you will be getting an error because advanced policy cannot be bound along with the classic policy. So unbind the classic policy first and bind the advanced policy now. Here we go. Thank you so much for watching this video and have a nice day.